Welcome to Yoga Basics. I'm Patty, I'll be your instructor. Let's start by sitting onto the floor or onto a chair and make yourself comfortable. And once you get down to the floor or onto a chair, go ahead and find your breath. And let's start by taking 3 full deep breaths. In yoga, we call it belly breathing. Though you're not really breathing with your belly, you're moving the diaphragm so that it seems like you're breathing with your belly. So in this diaphragmatic breathing, go ahead and start with a full exhale, and then inhale and fill at your low belly, fill at your mid chest, your upper chest and back, and then exhale your breath all the way down, drawing the belly back to your spine. And again, inhale at the low belly, filling the mid and side chest, filling your upper chest and back, and then exhale your breath all the way back down, literally drawing the belly back to the spine. Once more, inhale, low belly, mid and side chest, upper chest and back, and then exhale the breath all the way back down, drawing the belly to the spine to facilitate the thoroughness of that exhale. And then release. And I'll invite you now to bring your hands to your heart in the prayer position to set an intention. Take just a moment and claim for yourself what it is that you want. Physically, such as radiant good health. Mentally, maybe you're looking for wisdom or humor. Emotionally, you can look or ask for joy or contentment. And spiritually, you can ask for guidance and connection if you'd like to. So take just another moment with this intention and claim what you want for yourself. And so it is. Blink your eyes open if they were closed, bring your hands down, and I'd like to introduce Jessie, who's helping me again today. Hi. So we're going to start by flexing and arching the spine. So Jessie, let's go ahead and clasp your hands together in front of you. Inhale big, and then exhale and roll your hands, reach the heels of your hands away, arch your back like a cat, tuck your chin down into your chest and pull your belly to your spine, trying to spread your shoulder blades apart. In this posture, we're opening up the backbones of the body so they can get a nice good soak of fluid, and we're squeezing down the front bones of the spine. Good. Let's go ahead and inhale, bring your hands to the top of the head. And then exhale and reach, pull your belly to your spine as you reach your arms up and back. So the belly pulls in, the arms pull back, and you're stretching the heels of your hands up away from your sit bones. Take another inhale here, and exhale, release. Clasp your hands together, and then change the clasp so that it goes to the awkward way. Inhale here. And exhale, roll and reach. Pull the belly, tuck the chin, spread your shoulders apart. Squeeze the muscles to the bones of your arms. So you're opening up the bones of the back for that cerebral spinal fluid soak. You're squeezing down the bones in the front of the spine, squeezing out any stagnant cerebral spinal fluid. And then inhale the top of your hands to your head. Take another full breath here, fill the belly. And now exhale as you reach the arms up, pull the belly to your spine, bring your arms back behind you so the front ribs pull in, the arms pull back, and we're stretching the lower edges of your scapulas here. Take another inhale, and then exhale and release. Great. Let's come on to hands and knees for a couple cat-cows. So from hands and knees, you're going to spread your fingers wide, and your wrists are going to be right under your shoulders, so you'll shift your body weight a little bit forward. Your knees are hip width apart. Get lots of length in the back. You don't want the knees crowded in towards the hands. Space them out. Now we're going to find some extension with the spine here as Jessie reaches the crown of his head away from his hips. Inhale. Then as you exhale, arch like a cat, tucking the chin to the chest again, pulling the belly to the spine, getting a nice big high arch. This is called cat and cat-cow. We're going to move into cow, but we do it with a flat back so that you don't hurt the bones of the low back. So bring yourself to a flat back. That's what we'll call cow. Look up. Open the shoulders apart. There's a little cobra action here. And then arch back into cat. So we're flexing, arching, and extending the spine, and this is one of the ways that you keep your spine healthy. This is an excellent posture if your back is tight or sore, or just an excellent posture to keep a lot of good nutrition moving through the bones and the soft tissue of your spine. Now we're going to be working with the feet today. So once you've satisfied yourself with a couple cat-cows, tuck your toes. And with your toes tucked, push your hips back until you take a stretch through the arches of your feet. This is really uncomfortable for a lot of toes. Unfortunately, arthritis can settle into those toes, but is good for them. So maybe while you're here, rock your heels side to side, getting just a little bit of movement into those toes while you stretch out the arches of your feet. These are your platforms, and that's what connects you to the earth. So we want to keep them supple, strong, and movable. Then release the tension on the toes. You can tap the top of your toes, bringing some blood back into them, and very gently bring your one foot in front of you. Yep, hand on the knee, and press yourself up to standing. So Jesse's going to find a spot right in the very middle of the mat, and he's going to face me. So we're doing a squaring of the hips posture. This one is going to be a modified warrior 3. Now it is the time of year that he's got a little bit of a head cold, so Jesse's balance is a little bit off. So we're going to let him keep one toe behind him on the floor while the other foot stays firmly planted on the floor. So it'll be a modified warrior 3 with a little bit of balance rather than going into the full posture. So first find Tadasana. In Tadasana, your two middle toes are facing straight away from you, lined up with your as-is points. This puts the femur bone in a nice neutral position. Pick your toes up. With the toes lifted, you want to press at the base of the big toe, then at the base of the pinky toe. Hopefully your toes are spreading here. Then find the middle of your heel. Nice, big, wide platform. You want to cover a lot of real estate here. So gently lay the toes back down after they've spread apart, keeping the arches of your feet engaged. So from here, Jesse, if you'll bring your hands to your heart in the Anjali Mudra, also called the prayer mudra. This is the mudra for overcoming obstacles. This is a challenging posture, so I'm going to have Jesse connect with his breath, imagining that your breath can move the whole length of your body. It's also a squaring of the hips pose, so Jesse's hips and his chest will stay facing forward. And it's a balance posture. So from here, bring your left foot back and go up on the toes, the tiptoes of that left foot. Find your balance. To help with the balance, you want to find something to look at that's not moving. So find a gazing point. Find a piece of that curtain forward and do your best to hold your gaze on that point. If your gaze is too far down, the pose will become wobbly, and if it's too high up, it's going to be wobbly. So just a little bit below eye level is an excellent point for the gaze. Your hips are still squared to the front. This is not a hip opening pose, so we're not turning the hips at all, keeping them squared. We've brought the left leg back. Now, Jesse, inhale your arms up and reach your fingertips up. We're going to pivot on this right hip. So however high Jesse wants to lift the left leg is how far forward he can fold, reaching his fingers away from his heel. We live within opposing forces. We live within the up and the down and the night and the day. So the force of forward with the hands, the force of back with the feet, and the body stabilizes right in between. And breathe. Nice. Now bring that left leg back down. Your torso comes straight up and down. And back to Tadasana, releasing the posture. Good job. Let's turn around and face the other way now. So he's going to face this way, squaring up the hips, finding Tadasana. Find the arches of your feet. You want the arches of your feet to engage. Remember the dome, the strongest structure that we've got. So you pick up the toes, spread the toes, find those 3 points, base of the big, base of the pinky, middle of the heel. Let your mind go down to the arches of your feet. Feel the arches of your feet engaged. Lay the toes down gently. Firm the midline, moving the heads of the femur bones away from each other. You'll feel your transverse abdominis engage. You'll feel the sacral muscles engage. You're trying to find a good, solid base to lift up out of. Let's go ahead now and bring the right foot back and just go to the tips of your toes. Yeah. Re-square your position, hands in the Anjali Mudra. As you press your palms together, pull your shoulders apart, and that's going to give you some stability in the upper body. You're reaching the heel of that back leg away from the crown of the head now. Hips stay squared. We're going to pivot on this other hip. So however high Jesse lifts this leg is how far forward he can fold. Inhale up and then gently pivot, lifting the foot just a little. Reach those fingers away from the heel. Find those opposing forces of that stretch to find stability within the posture. Modified Warrior III. And then bring that leg back down. Your torso comes straight up and down. And then bring your hands back to your heart. The final posture one day for Jesse might look, and I'm going to give you some support, might look like this. Arms up, right leg back. Now I'm going to hold on to him and he's going to pivot his torso forward and lift that back leg up. Find a gazing point. Reach your fingers away from your heel. Jesse, bring your arms like an airplane. Nice. Reach the fingers away from each other. Great. Here's another Modified Warrior III. Beautiful. Breathe. And then bring that leg back down. Lift yourself back up. Hands back to your heart. Turn around. Let's do the other side. Now, you might not have someone holding on to you at home, so if you want to use the back of a chair, you could put one hand on the back of a chair, the back of a couch, and that could give you some stability while you practice this posture. So bringing your hands back to your heart, yep, that left leg goes back. Reach your arms up, and however high, straighten that heel away from your fingers. Reach, reach, reach. Breathe. Yes, there's the reach. Airplane the arms. Modified Warrior III. Good. Inhale and exhale. Release the posture. Well done. Good job. He's like, okay, I was really wobbly. But he has a head cold. The mat is pretty squishy. In fact, why don't we try that one more time? Step off the mat, rolling his eyes at me. So from being off the mat, bring your left toes back. Hands at your heart. Inhale up. From here, yes, reach those fingers away from that heel. I'm not holding him this time. Stretch, stretch, stretch. You live within opposing forces. Heel away from fingers. And then come on back up. Well done. Turn around other side. Find your Tadasana. Find your stability. Find your gazing point. Inhale, arms up. Reach that foot back. Reach the foot and the fingers away from each other. That stretch finds the stability. Nice. No hands. Airplane the arms helps for balance as well. And then come on back up. Ha-ha. Well done. Jesse, come on down to your back with your knees bent. It's a really hard posture. He did a very good job. Bend the knees and relax for a moment. So we're using this posture as a squaring of the hips pose so that your hips were supposed to stay forward. But what happens when we get up onto one foot is we start turning these hips a little bit, trying to find our balance. And in the turning of the hips, sometimes we can get a little bit out of whack through the hips or through the low back or maybe even through the upper back on where you were reaching for balance. So to realign the body, we're going to end with a reclining twist. This is a really important posture. I want to tell you that you can do this posture pretty much any time. You're always going to find some relief in this posture unless you're in an extreme discomfort of your low back. And in that case, check with your doctor or check with a yoga therapist in town. If your back is really, really sore, you might want to do this. But if it's just a little sore, you feel like you got a little hitch in your giddy up, the reclining twist can help reset the bones of the back and the hips so that you have that alignment for yourself again. So for this posture, you come to your back with your knees bent. You let your body accept the floor. And in this posture, shoulders are probably going to lift up off the floor, which is going to have your head lift up. So if you know you've got tight shoulders, let's go ahead and put some blankets underneath your head. You'll see as we get into this pose how his head's going to lift up a little bit. So for here, For the reclining twist, press into your feet and lift your hips. While your hips are in the air, shift them to the right and then lower them back down. So your hips are offset to the right. Let your left leg go straight. Draw your right knee into your chest. Pull the right knee and point the left toes. We're stretching across the pelvic floor. It's a figure 8 shaped mesh of muscles that kind of dome up. It's a beautiful part of the body, and it takes an angle to angle stretch. You've got the bladder, Jesse's got a prostate down here. So we're opening up this area for a free flow of fluid and energy. Pull that knee, point the left toes. Yep, inhale into your stretch. And then exhale the knee across your body, bringing the knee all the way over to the floor. If you've got a lot of back pain and you want to do this, you can put that knee underneath a blanket or on a block or something. But if your low back is pretty healthy, try to get that knee all the way to the floor to stabilize the lumbar spine. Then you're going to reach this right arm up, stretching long through the back, and then open that right arm into a T, palm up. Now you can see that Jesse's got his chin is still way up. So let me put one more blanket. Nice. And then you melt into the shape of this posture. Letting the knee rest on the floor, letting the shoulder lift up. And eventually the weight of your upper arm bones will start to open up at that clavipectoral sheath across the chest, and it'll give you just a little bit more room. Melting into this shape, allowing your breath to soften, allowing your body to take on this posture. You might even hear your bones kind of making some adjustments. It feels really good. All right, inhale, and as you exhale, draw your knee into your belly, roll to your back, feet on the mat, and square your hips. Once you're square, press into your feet and lift your hips. Now while they're in the air, shift them to the left and lower, so your hips are offset to the left. Draw your right leg straight, pull your left knee into your belly, and now we're stretching across the other angle of the pelvic floor. So you're pulling this left knee back, you're pointing the right toes, you'll feel the top of one thigh and the back of the other, and this will correspond into an asymmetric stretch across your pelvic floor. Inhale here, and as you exhale, bring that knee all the way across your body, bringing the knee to the floor on the far side. Again, if the low back is super tight or if you're in a lot of pain and you want to support that knee, you can. And that would bring the knee up to about there. But otherwise, you try to get that knee to the floor, stabilizing at the lumbar spine. Reach that left arm up, take a stretch through the left side body, and then open that left arm into a T. Palm up and turn your head and look down that straight left arm, melting into the shape of the pose on this side. So you can allow your breath to gently spiral in and gently spiral out. And possibly, as you soften your fingers, you soften your belly, you might, as I said, feel your body make little adjustments here, and this is good. Possibly also on your next exhale, you might be able to turn your head just a little bit deeper to the left. This is so nourishing for the entire spinal column, for your whole back. It's an excellent posture. I end most classes with this posture, especially if there was a chance that we rotated the hips in a funny way. All right. Then when you're ready, inhale, exhale the knee into the chest, roll to your back, feet on the mat, and square your hips. We're going to do one little upside down posture because we're here. It's going to be bridge. I'm going to take the blankets out from under Jesse's head because we don't want to artificially close up through the throat. So from here, look down your left hip and see your left heel. Look down your right hip and see your right heel. And then let your head rest back. Your chin will aim at the ceiling, press into your feet, lift your hips. While your hips are in the air, you can tuck one shoulder behind you and then tuck the other shoulder behind you. And this is bridge. You've put the hips above the heart. You're putting yourself into a gentle little inversion. It is a strength building pose. So in the beginning, you might only do bridge for 10 or 15 seconds before you need to lower it down. But eventually you want to build up to where you could hold bridge for maybe a minute or two. And take your time. There's no hurry building up to that kind of power. Inhale here, and exhale your hips back down to the mat, letting your low back get comfortable. And then let's come into Savasana. So bring your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs. We'll start with some squeezes. Inhale and exhale, squeeze. You're giving yourself an internal massage here. Loosen the squeeze, inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Good, good. Tuck the chin now. Loosen the squeeze, inhale. Exhale, squeeze. Make yourself as tiny as you can, a tiny little ball. Your feet are side by side. And then release and let your legs go long down the mat. Rock your hips until your low back gets comfortable. Let your upper back flatten, whatever you have to do to bring flat to the upper back. Tuck your chin. We've gotten a little bit more room in Jesse's shoulders. We've been working at this all day, so I'm not going to put a blanket under his head. And he says his low back is fine, so we're not going to lift the hips. But you're welcome to pick the knees up, which will tip the hips, and you're welcome to pick your head up a little bit. You're trying to find your ears, your shoulders, your hips, and your heels all about on that same line. And then you melt, melting into the shape of this posture. Letting your belly soften as you exhale, releasing your chest, imagining that your shoulders can melt down your arms, pretending that your palms feel like puddles. Swallow, releasing through your throat, letting the skin on your cheeks go slack. Allow your tongue to rest gently in the back of your mouth, releasing any conversation with yourself and instead tuning into observation of yourself. And just observe yourself melting into the shape of this pose, allowing the front of your body in its entirety to melt into the back of your body, allowing the back of your body to then melt into the mat, the floor, the ground. In the final few moments of this posture, you can observe how your breath moves through your body. You can observe what thoughts you keep letting go of. You can observe yourself escorting your mind back to your breath. If the thoughts start to gear up before we're ready to come out of the posture, remember you can just say shh to yourself. And wherever your mind went, escort it back to the inhaling, back to the exhaling, and just resting here, letting your mind stuff follow your breath for a few moments, turning the thinking part off and tuning into the observing part of yourself. And just observe yourself melting, taking another moment or so and soften into this shape. And then, when you're ready, go ahead and begin to deepen your breathing, wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. You can make circles with your wrists and your ankles, big wide circles one way and then the other. And then reach your arms up long and stretch your fingers away from your feet. Make space. Inhale big, making space through your belly. And then exhale and release the stretch. Drawing your knees into your belly. Roll to one side and make a pillow for your head with that arm, whichever arm is down below you. And pause here while your body transitions. And take this moment and thank yourself for your practice, enabling the gifts and the benefits to continue to penetrate to every level, including the deepest level. And inhale. And on the exhale, use mostly the strength of that upper arm to press yourself back up. And then grab your blankets again. Coming into any comfortable seated position that you'd like to be in. You can come back up into a chair. You can sit up on the blankets. You can cross your legs. Or if you'd like, you could leave your legs straight. Whatever is most comfortable for you. And once you find your most comfortable seated posture, whether you're on the floor or in the chair, I'll invite you to bring your hands back to your heart. Pressing palms, thumbs, and fingers together, pulling your shoulders apart, letting your heart lift and open. And as your heart lifts and opens, if you'd like, you can bow your head into that lifting and opening action. And take this moment to honor the truth, the light, and the wisdom existing within every cell of your body. May you be peaceful. May you experience poise, equanimity, and abundance. May you be well. Namaste.